In your dreams, eh? Well, they've just been in mind. The future of human dreams is a fascinating mix of neuroscience, psychology, and technology as we learn more about how dreams work, their role in our conscious and subconscious, and how it will evolve with technology and the future profound ways. We're looking into it all right now. You see, there's a thing called dream recording and playback. See, scientists are already using the brain scans along with artificial intelligence. Now, this might scare you, and I understand if it does. Let's just look into brain scans for a second. Even in the last couple of decades, this is crazy to say this, but things are going so fast in the technology field that it's so important that you look at the date that this was posted. But even at the time of recording, a couple of decades before, the brain scans have become so advanced where they can literally pinpoint where the parts of the brain are lighting up and in what way, what colours they are lighting up. So they can see and link in with the anatomy of the brain, and they know that that particular part of the brain is good for doing one thing, say speech or recognition, facial memories, and so on. And so if a person lights up, for example, if they're in a coma and they do a brain scan on them, and a human friend or perhaps a lover or partner, wife, husband or something like that comes in and they say certain phrases in their voice, hold their hand, and the brain somewhere deeply then feels it and it lights up memory, like recognition of speech and so on. That's like amazing. So they can pinpoint it. So by pinpointing then, they can then begin to heal and help. And then by doing that, we see that if you're in a coma, what's happening when you're asleep? What's happening with your dreams? And how that links then with your artificial intelligence. You know, that artificial intelligence, it looks at specific points and specific instances of like tiny fragments of information that it can become very accurate with very quickly. So this is how the two things merge. And so you'd imagine that there's going to be a huge potential for this to help people and to look into our dreams, therefore to analyze ourselves like the old-fashioned way is, like as soon as you wake up, okay, gather your pen and paper and just scribble down whatever, and of course you might fall asleep again, and then you wake up in the morning and you scribble down another bit and you go, what the heck does this mean? But if you can actually get the brain regions and where it all links into, and you can quantify it through the hours of your sleep when indeed you're dreaming, you're coming to a more accurate suggestion as to what your individual thinking is now and in the future. See, future dream recorders could be there for us to watch or relive our dreams. They could actually sketch out or make it like an AI video of our dream. This might also help people interpret their dreams with more clarity. So you can sit down, boil the kettle, and have a drink and go, all right, why was I with that person? Well, I was in love with them before, or they owed me money, they frightened the life out of me. So current progress in research in Japan, for example, have looked at the fMRI, it's a type of brain scanning, and they've linked it in with AI, so it's actually happening. Then there's controlling and enhancing dreams, because devices like headbands and electrodes, which kind of go dotted on different parts of your brain on your head, may soon trigger lucid dreams. So people might actually be assessed as they're dreaming. You can kind of see it on the screen live as such. People could shape their dreams, turning nightmares into adventures. Now think about that from a therapeutic point of view. Essentially, with a lot of therapy, such as talk therapy, where people ask questions, answers, go through scenarios and so on, that they could use this to overcome fears, to overcome people in the past. This could be used for creativity, problem solving, or even looking at MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. The Dormio project uses, say, wearable technology to influence dreams and then linking it in with creativity. Of course, mental health is hugely important, and sometimes we have all these nightmares, and PTSD flashbacks and anxiety treatments might use guided dreaming to process trauma. Like future therapies could rewrite nightmares, essentially making them the most advantageous way for us to be psychoanalyzed, and to be psychoanalyzed quantifiably too. AI-driven dream analysis could detect early signs of mental illness. Yeah, you are going down the direction of not thinking too well because it's in your dreams. Like, what the heck is there? How we process things, such as television programs, shows. Like, if somebody's watching the movie that's the hit movie, like say each Christmas, or it's going to win the Oscar, and there's millions of people in a country or in a city watching it, there's always going to be a percentage of those people that are mentally ill or about to become mentally ill. So if that movie is changing their mentality, or they're processing it in a way that is going to make them, say, watching a violent movie, and then suddenly they become violent because of it, they get ideas, well, then we see they're processing in that way. Shared and network dreaming as well. Future technologies could allow linked dreams with where we are at with our experiences. Like virtual reality and brain-computer interfaces could create dream-like metaverses. This could change how we connect, create, and even learn. And okay, it sounds all scary, fictional, away from human beings, not reality, but it could be fiction versus reality. The idea is popular in sci-fi movies. Essentially, people have ideas, writers out there, and they go, what if this would happen? Well, this would be like crazy, zany. So let's put it into a character, into a story. But yes, it could happen, such as Inception. Ooh. Dreams and artificial intelligence. AI, of course, is all hot as we record. Analysing and interpreting dreams with greater accuracy. Having dream guides could help understand our trauma, understand why it's recurring, this dream. Why and what does it mean when a person walks up to a door? What does it mean when they're knocking on the door? What does it mean that I'm shutting the door? All these different things. AI-generated dreamscapes might even become more like a form of, say, entertainment. AI-assisted journaling apps are already in development. Dreams and transhumanism, like merging dreams with reality. Brain implants. Okay, now this might be very scary, but it could very well be a thing that's coming on stream very soon. So this could directly stimulate dream creation, so that we actually are not just reacting and assessing our dreams, but we are actually creating a dream. So it's like, okay, give some people money, make a movie, and I'll watch it. Cool, my favorite movie. But if you can prepare yourself for a nice night's sleep and suddenly see this widescreen in your head, would that be cool too? Much cheaper. The line between dreaming and waking reality may soon become a thing of consciousness rather than the subconscious. Now, there are, of course, ethical questions with all of this. If we can program dreams, do we love the mystery, the natural dreaming, or even the meaning of dreams? Are we getting it accurately right? Even though we can use, say, the likes of artificial intelligence to link in with that, we have to be very careful how we process. The main thing is, though, as we know from dreams, if we can produce our own conscious reality and feed it into our subconscious, we will get whatever it is coming out of that as proof for us feeling consciously well, or progressing in life and growing. So you still control it, for now at least. Thank you for watching. Please do watch more.